Hey there, fellow soil enthusiasts. Welcome back to Soil Sage Chronicles, where we dig deep into the art and science of growing your own green paradise. Today I want to talk about something that's been absolutely transforming city landscapes and honestly, changing lives one harvest at a time. Urban gardening with raised beds. If you've ever stood on a concrete balcony or stared at a tiny backyard wondering how on earth you could possibly grow anything meaningful, you're in for a treat. Urban gardening isn't just about making the most of limited space, it's about reclaiming your connection to the earth, even when you're surrounded by skyscrapers and busy streets. There's something magical about stepping out your door and harvesting fresh basil for tonight's dinner, or picking sun-warmed tomatoes that taste like summer itself. The benefits of growing your own food in the city extend far beyond just having fresh produce at your fingertips. You're creating a sustainable food source that reduces your carbon footprint, building community connections with neighbors who stop to admire your thriving plants, and giving yourself a daily dose of nature that works wonders for your mental well-being. Trust me, there's nothing quite like the therapeutic ritual of tending to your plants after a long day navigating city life. Today, we're diving into the world of raised beds, the game-changing solution that's making urban gardening accessible, manageable, and honestly, incredibly productive for gardeners of all skill levels. Let's start with the foundation of your urban oasis, literally. Choosing the right materials for your raised bed is crucial, and I've experimented with just about everything over the years. Each material has its own personality and purpose, so let's break down your options. Wood remains the classic choice for good reason. Cedar and redwood are naturally rot-resistant and can last 10 to 15 years with proper care. They're relatively easy to work with, look beautiful in any setting, and provide excellent insulation for your soil. However, they do come with a higher price tag. If you're budget-conscious, consider using untreated pine or fir, which will give you 3 to 5 years of good service at a fraction of the cost. Metal raised beds, particularly those made from galvanized steel or aluminum, are becoming increasingly popular in urban settings. They're sleek, modern, and virtually indestructible. The downside? They can heat up quickly in summer sun, potentially cooking your plant roots if you're not careful. I've found that painting them with light-colored, plant-safe paint helps tremendously with heat reflection. Concrete blocks offer incredible durability and thermal mass, which helps regulate soil temperature. They're perfect for permanent installations and can be quite affordable if you source them locally. The trade-off is weight and permanence. Once you build with concrete, you're committed to that location. Don't overlook recycled materials either. I've seen stunning raised beds made from reclaimed wood, old bathtubs, and even repurposed shipping containers. These options not only save money but also give your garden a unique character that reflects your personality. When it comes to construction, I always recommend starting with a simple rectangular design for your first bed. Aim for a width of 3 to 4 feet maximum. You should be able to reach the center from either side without stepping on your soil. Length is flexible based on your space, but 6 to 8 feet is a sweet spot for most urban gardens. The key to a successful raised bed is ensuring proper drainage. I always add a layer of hardware cloth at the bottom to keep out rodents while allowing water to flow freely. If you're building on concrete or hard surfaces, consider adding legs or a base layer of gravel to prevent water from pooling. Here's where the real magic happens, creating that perfect soil ecosystem that will nurture your plants from seed to harvest. Quality soil is absolutely non-negotiable in raised bed gardening. Unlike in-ground gardening where you can gradually improve existing soil, raised beds give you the opportunity to start with the perfect growing medium from day one. I've learned that the best raised bed soil isn't just dirt. It's a carefully crafted blend that balances drainage, water retention, and nutrition. My go-to recipe is 1/3 high-quality compost, 1/3 peat moss or coconut coir, and 1/3 vermiculite or perlite. This combination gives you the perfect texture that drains well but holds moisture while providing immediate nutrition and improving over time. Compost is your secret weapon, and honestly, it deserves special attention. Whether you make your own or purchase it, good compost should smell earthy and be teeming with life. I love adding worm castings to the mix. They're like concentrated nutrition for your plants and help create that rich, dark soil that every gardener dreams of. Don't forget about amendments that improve soil structure over time. Aged manure adds slow-release nutrients, while bone meal provides phosphorus for strong root development. I always add a handful of kelp meal too. It's packed with trace minerals that urban soils often lack. When filling your bed, avoid the temptation to compact the soil. Layer your materials and let them settle naturally. Water lightly as you go to help everything integrate, but resist the urge to pack it down. Your plant's roots will thank you for the loose, airy structure. Planting depth becomes crucial in raised beds because, well, you have complete control over your growing medium. Always follow seed packet instructions religiously, but keep in mind that the loose soil structure of raised beds often means you can actually plant just a bit deeper than you would in compacted ground. Now comes the fun part, choosing what to grow and, honestly, watching your urban oasis come to life. I've found that certain vegetables absolutely thrive in raised bed environments, especially in urban settings where, conditions can be a bit challenging. Tomatoes are the superstars of raised bed gardening. The improved drainage prevents root rot while the loose soil allows their extensive root systems to really spread and flourish. I always choose determinate varieties for smaller spaces and indeterminate varieties when I have room for tall cages or trellises. Peppers love the warm, well-draining conditions of raised beds. Both sweet and hot varieties perform exceptionally well, and the controlled environment makes it easier to provide the consistent conditions they crave. Leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and kale are perfect for succession planting in raised beds. You can harvest outer leaves while the plants continue growing, providing a continuous supply of fresh salads throughout the growing season. Watering in raised beds requires a different approach than traditional gardening. The improved drainage means water moves through the soil more quickly, so you'll need to water more frequently but with less volume each time. I've found that deep, infrequent watering encourages deeper root growth and better drought tolerance. Consider installing drip irrigation or soaker hoses if you have multiple raised beds. The initial investment pays off in water savings and plant health. If you're watering by hand, aim for early morning sessions to minimize evaporation and reduce disease pressure. Pest control in raised beds is often easier than in traditional gardens because you can more easily monitor your plants and spot problems early. Companion planting works wonderfully in the confined space of raised beds. Marigolds scattered throughout help deter harmful insects while attracting beneficial ones. There's truly nothing that compares to that first harvest from your urban raised bed garden. Whether it's your first sun-warmed tomato of the season or a handful of fresh herbs for tonight's dinner, you'll understand why gardening has captured hearts for thousands of years. The beauty of raised bed gardening is that it extends your growing season and really maximizes your harvest. The soil in raised beds warms up faster in the spring, which means you can start planting earlier, and thanks to the excellent drainage, you can keep harvesting well into the fall, even when traditional gardens might already be waterlogged. It's so important to keep detailed records of what you plant, when you plant it, and how it performs. This information honestly becomes invaluable as you refine your urban garden year after year. I always recommend taking photos throughout the season, not just of your successes but of your challenges too. These visual records help you make better decisions and hopefully avoid repeating the same mistakes. Just remember, urban gardening is a journey, not a destination. Every season brings new lessons, new varieties to try out, and new techniques to master. So embrace the learning process and don't get discouraged by occasional setbacks. Even experienced gardeners face challenges. It's all part of the adventure. Your raised bed garden will evolve over time, just like your skills and confidence. What starts as a simple rectangular bed might eventually become a complex system of interconnected growing spaces, each designed for specific crops and growing conditions. As we wrap up today's deep dive into urban raised bed gardening, I want to hear about your experiences. Are you planning your first raised bed, or are you a seasoned urban gardener with wisdom to share? Drop a comment below, and let's build this community together. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles for more in-depth gardening content that goes beyond the surface. And hey, hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest adventures in soil science, urban growing techniques, and sustainable gardening practices. Share this article with friends who might be interested in starting their own urban garden revolution. Together, we can transform cities one raised bed at a time, creating green spaces that nourish both body and soul. Until next time, keep digging deeper,